Yeah, I think people are fairly happy with how Koeman has started. There's always going to be criticism at a club like Barca. There's always going to be negativity.
How did Barcelona and the club react until now to, well, the departure of Bartomeu?
We're in an electoral campaign where people that want to be president will use names of people who perhaps they want to bring in either as sign-ins or sporting directors or coaches. So there's increased pressure on Koeman to deliver on the pitch, because if he's not doing well, he's more likely to be replaced, because it wouldn't be seen as a sacking per se, as, like a presidential change, a regime change, and they would move him on to bring in another manager, say in January, when it's looking like we have elections. So it's certainly created an amount of uncertainty for Koeman, even though he's tried to sort of lean away from that and say, all I can focus on is doing my job on the pitch, doing my work on the training ground. And that's all he can do now. He has to ensure that results are going well, so that when a new president is elected in December or January, or whenever they finally announce elections, he's the man that they keep in charge, at least until the end of the season, to give him a chance to prove himself.
So what does this mean right now for the position of Koeman?
Yeah, I think people are fairly happy with how Koeman has started. There's always going to be criticism at a club like Barca. There's always going to be negativity in there. And I think he's won people around with his straight talking. He's very clear. He's very, very honest. He says what it is. He doesn't hold back. And that's been refreshing, especially from a journalist point of view, because, in the past, especially with Valverde, he was very coy. Valverde was great for the club and the players because of that side of his game, because he kept things in-house, nothing sort of spilled out. Setien was a bit different, but with Koeman, we're seeing this honesty, and it's certainly appreciated by the fans and the media here, and so far by the players. If results don't improve, they've obviously had a couple of bad results. Maybe that will change within the dressing room, and they start to blame him, or they won't like him being so upfront and honest about their mistakes or their bad performances. But at the moment, it's gone down well. They're accepting that there are things that they need to improve.
How are the players feeling with Koeman as a coach? Are they creating a new team chemistry, or isn't it anything like that?
The fact that for the time being everything is calm is a good sign for Koeman. The players have bought into this idea that they need to work harder. They've accepted this idea that, there have been a lot of errors made over the last couple of years, which led to the Bayern Munich defeat, and they're willing to work harder, to listen to Koeman's ideas, to really try and sort of build a new ethos, a new mentality, a new chemistry. Obviously, you still have the players like Piqué and Messi, who, as Setien said this week, these guys are difficult to manage. And I don't think he necessarily meant it as a criticism, as maybe it's been taken, but more as a fact that these guys are big, huge players that have won everything for the club, and they are characters that are maybe not difficult to manage per se, but they've almost managed themselves for so long. It is a difficult situation. So I think Koeman's quite good in that sense, because he's a player who's been at the top level. When you speak to him in news conferences, you can see that he's very confident, self-assured about what he's done as a player, especially, and I guess also as a coach.
Where will Barcelona draw the line for Koeman? They dropped a few points already in La Liga.
But they are in a sort of semi-transition where they're trying to bring in players, and they're trying to bring in new signings and sort of move on from this team that had aged together. So there's an acceptance, and Koeman has said it a lot recently since they've started dropping the results, that they've made a lot of changes. But this is also Barcelona, and if they lose another game, if they lose 2 games in a row, and all of a sudden, they're already in the bottom half, they obviously have games in hand, and there's that factor that they started the season late. But to see Barcelona in the bottom half after 6 games, even if other teams have played 8, is obviously alarming for Barca, who have never been outside. Never been outside the top 2 for a long time. He will get time to a certain extent until it looks like, even though they've had bad results there without a winning 4, if you were to look at the fixtures and to look at the league table and the squad, right now you would still expect Barcelona to come in the top 2. I think the moment that you start to doubt that is the moment Koeman's job is on the line. If they lose more, if they look like performances aren't improving, if Messi's not improving, if they're not getting the best out of Messi, and all of a sudden you're looking at the table and you're thinking, well, they're 12 points back now, and yeah, we've got half a season to go, but where's the change coming from? That's when the pressure starts. Once you really think that, beyond the results, this is a Barca team that cannot turn it around, that cannot move up the table. And I think at the moment there's still a belief that with the players they've got, the results will come. And even if it's a transition season, they will obviously eventually be back in the top 4, top 2, ideally.